Hey, Jason from Worship Artistry, and this week I was teaching the song At the Altar by Elevation Rhythm. And in all of our lessons, we always do a solo acoustic chapter. And essentially what that does is we learn the song the way it is on the record, but in that solo acoustic chapter, we actually think through it, think if I was just playing it by myself, how could I bring in some of the counter melodies, maybe some of the hooks, as well as play it more dynamically when I'm either leading by myself, or maybe I'm around a campfire, or just with a smaller band. And I really enjoyed the arrangement of this song, and I was like, man, this is a killer solo acoustic arrangement. So why don't I jump on YouTube and actually teach it, all right? So, like I said, if you're a Worship Artistry member, you know how that works. You just go there. But for now, I'm going to teach it all the way through. So essentially, the way I'm going to do this is we're going to listen to a section, and then I'm going to show it to you because I don't have all the tools and the tabs and charts and everything here, right? So we're just going to listen, and then I'll show you how to play it. All right, let's listen to the intro.
I'm removing all of the things that would move me further from you. A thank you could not be enough. It's not lost on me what you saved me from.
Okay, let's stop there. Right off the bat, there is no acoustic guitar, and the piano is very much in the low range. And there's really nothing keeping rhythm except for the actual melody of the song, right? So we're gonna do the same thing on the guitar. The chords are gonna be a D2, so that's gonna be your ring finger on the B, pointer on the G. D is open. For our G chord, we're gonna play more of a G2, which just holds that shape and brings the middle finger down to the 3rd fret of your E, muting the A. And then we also use a D over F sharp, which just goes back to that D shape and brings the thumb over and holds down the 2nd fret of that low E string. So we get that. We're gonna be using those chords a lot in this song, all right? So initially, we wanna stay in the lower range because that's what the piano's doing. It's best if you can finger pick it because it gives you a little bit of a softer kind of a feel. I'm gonna use a pick so we can really hear what's happening here, right? So we're gonna go just real soft for that intro. And then I'm removing all of the things that would move me further from you. A thank you could not be enough. It's not lost on me what you've saved me from. Now the second half of the verse, they actually give it a little bit of lift, so let's hear what that piano does.
I'm running, stumbling on road, but I'm coming to give you this offering. My worship I'll never withhold. Broken, but you call it beautiful.
Now what's happening there is really the piano is just getting a little bit busier. There's no other big melody lines that are coming in. We're not catching all these extra hooks. So we're just gonna start arpeggiating those parts. So it's the same chords, and we're just gonna do it real simple because sometimes what happens on piano doesn't sound great on guitar. So when we're playing guitar, let's make sure we actually sound like guitar. So we're just gonna arpeggiate starting on the root note, right? That's just picking the note individually, and it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So all we're doing is just working from the root position and then always plucking the G and the B. So we get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we change that bass note because it goes to the G. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that leads us right into that first chorus. So let's give that a listen.
Where the tears of the desperate reach the feet of the Savior. Nothing I wouldn't offer. There's no waste at the altar. With a heart of surrender, beat the hands of the Maker.
So you hear what's going on there, right? There's that piano line, once again, a lot busier, right? There's all these kind of little arpeggios happening and melodies, but what your ear really hears is, and it just keeps repeating that through the different chords. What's beautiful about this song is we can very easily fit those into the chord shapes we're already doing. So if you go back and you make like a regular D chord, right? So that's that pointer and middle there, and your pointer or your middle finger, I'm sorry, on the second fret of the E. Right, that's a typical D. That pointer finger is going to bar the G and the B. And then what that's going to allow us to do is add that melody, right? Still all playing those notes. So once again, we strum once from the D, G, and B. We're just only plucking those three strings. Then we lift up the ring finger, then put it right back down. Then we open up the E string. My ring finger hit that for a second. And then middle finger goes to the E. So once again. And you can do that kind of as big or as small as you want. You know, if you want to just focus on, you know, that's nice and quiet. If you want to do more strumming, whatever feels good to you. But then we play that same riff again, but just within our different chords, which is easy enough because all we have to do is bring our middle finger to that third fret of the E and do the same thing. The only trick is that note, right? So what we can do is borrow with that pointer finger. So you get that. And back to your D. And then finally it does this last riff, which is just following the melody, right? There's no waste at the altar. And once again, all that is, you're just holding down the second fret of that E, opening, and then resetting. And then that's gonna lead us into that second verse. So let's listen to that second verse.
You can be everything, everything. Things I've treasured, all couldn't come close to your presence. Grace upon grace you could measure. No, nothing could measure.
Okay, verse 2 does the same thing twice, all right? So let's just jump into that. And all that's happening, once again, it's gonna be a real theme to this one, is you're focusing on this G and B string. And then all your chords are happening around it. So you're gonna strum every time there's a change. And then just keep a nice eighth note down strum on the G and B. So once again, for example, you start with that D over F sharp, and we're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play the G. And then we have our hits. And it just kind of keeps building that. You can get a little louder in the second half. You into the next chorus. Now, we don't even need to listen to this because it does the same melody. The only difference is it's just a little louder. So now we really want to make sure that we dig into those changes. And all that is just same exact thing, you're just being more aggressive. If you want to fill in a little more, you don't want to get too wild because you still want to give it the place to go. So you see, once our ears are kind of tuned to it, we can do bigger chords and our ears still kind of pick out those main melody lines. Okay, now let's go ahead and listen to the bridge section. So everything breaks back down again, nice and quiet. Still using that. Listen right here.
Let your heart sing out and tell him you love. Don't make it perfect, just let it be honest.
Okay, so what's happening there, initially just kind of dropping down, the piano gets a little busy, but I would just, just kind of utilize something to keep a little bit of rhythm there. I'm just using my B string. And then it starts hitting this riff, it's gonna sound like this. Sound kind of familiar, right? So what we're doing there is we're just walking up 1, 2, 3, lifting up 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So catching your high E. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just change. Goes to D over F sharp there. Now there's a couple ways you can do this one. Sometimes I like to just do what we did. But as the song builds, we also have that same note on the D string. So the song starts building, we can get this. Keep building and keep building, as one does with these kind of songs. But all those parts will really kind of take you through this song, which is very dynamic, but if you're playing it by yourself and you can't rely on the other instruments to fill in, you can do a lot with this acoustic guitar and lead this song, like I said, either with a small band or even by yourself, or maybe you just kind of want to play around the house. It's just a great way to bring some of those other ideas in. If you like this kind of lesson, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Also, go ahead and check out Worship Artistry. We have over 700 song lessons, and there's a chapter like this in every single one. So even if you're like, oh, I already know that song, and I know the chord chart, and I don't need any help with that, this kind of thing is in every song. So if you like it, go check it out. We'll see you soon.